His name is Tyler. He's a fresh new face here in Nashville, and he's a hot mess. All that's going to make sense in a couple minutes. Music City 411 starts now. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Music City 411. I'm your host, Shane Tallant, and we have a very special show for you this week, an artist spotlight with B&A Records artist Tyler Farr, and he joins me now in a very special place for you, Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. Talk to me about what this place means for you.
When I first moved to town, about 21, I started working the door and flipping burgers, working right back here. Put a lot of sweat and blood and tears into this place. I got a gig after I worked the door for about a month, got up and sang. Eventually, that led to me playing and having my own show, and I started doing, one night a week and two, and eventually playing 4 nights a week, 10 till 2 in the morning. So I did that for about a year and a half. So spent a lot of time in here. It's where I cut my teeth and learned the fine art of entertaining and how to hold a crowd. So.
And you said working the door. Now, you're not the biggest guy in the world. You were a bouncer at Tootsie's, and I know some things can get a little hairy at times here.
Well, a bouncer is probably the tough way to say it. I mean, I like to say it because it makes me look a lot cooler. Obviously, I'm no Incredible Hulk or anything, but I did work the door. I did have a few beer bottles whiz by my head. And yeah, I did that and passed out flyers and greeted people. I did just about everything here. So.
Well, you mentioned cutting your teeth, and I think that's very important for artists in Nashville, even up-and-coming artists or aspiring artists. You made the most of it, and now you've got a record deal, and now you've got a single on the radio.
Yeah, Hot Mess hit radio February 6th with a lot of help from B&A and the awesome staff over there. We were, I think, third most added first week, which is beyond my expectations, right behind Aldine and Zach Brown Band. So I was pumped about that. I mean, being back here, I don't get a whole lot of time to come down here anymore. Usually when I get off the road, I'm resting. So it's good to be back here and seeing all the pictures and the faces and stuff, and it brings back a lot of memories. And so when I was 21 when I was here, so you know what that means. I didn't always make the best decisions and stuff. So there's a lot of fun times had in here, good times. A lot of people, artists I met, would come through the back door, and I would be like, that's, I want to, I'd shake their hand and introduce myself. And, I think I was wearing a cowboy hat back then.
Well, you're on the road. In fact, we were on the road together a couple weeks ago. You were on with Lee Bryce. And tell me what you're learning out there, being the first time you're opening for, major artists. What are you learning? Because, the show that I was at, there was 100 people there, but some nights there's 8,000. So what are you learning on nights like that where you're just up there pretty much playing like you would at a honky tonk?
And then that's where, Tootsie's came in handy, because I leave it all on the table every time I sing, whether there's 2 or 2,000 people there, and it's just one of those things. And then this summer being out with Miranda to Skinner and ZZ Top, playing for 15,000 people acoustically, it's always a rush. If I have a small crowd and I set goals, like I'm going to get them on their feet clapping and singing a song that they've never heard in their life, it's a challenge to me, and I like that.
Well, now it's a pretty good chance that they have heard one of your songs, so that's probably changing things for you too with your single Hot Mess. Talk to me about the story behind that, and what do you consider a hot mess?
The story behind the song, my buddy Red Akins, he actually got me started 3 years ago when I was living back home for a month, and he actually called me and said he wanted to work with me. As soon as I heard the song, I knew it had some sort of, I knew it had an appeal, and I knew it was catchy. I've always looked up to Kenny Chesney and guys like him for having a niche to pick hit songs and be able to hear a song, and to me that's what that song was, as a hit. No one's gonna care as much about what you're singing until they know who you are. And I learned that on the road, having to play covers and stuff, because people didn't know any of my stuff till now, then finally starting to know a few of my songs. And that song I thought was the best fit for my first single. And a hot mess, I don't think it's made the Encyclopedia Britannica yet, but I think, it just basically, I've heard girls even call guys that. Now, obviously, the sundress in the song isn't talking about a male. Who knows? It's about a girl that may not have it quite all together, but to us, it's kind of sexy. But that's what it is, to me. So.
Well, there you go, hot mess. Make sure you call your records, your radio stations and request it. And make sure you follow Tyler on Twitter. It's at Tyler Farr, and check out his website, tylerfarr.com. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, and thanks for loving country music.